This is the first of a two-part episode about Vaevictis Asmadi the Dire.
I'm really good at swearing, you guys.
It's Commander Time! Welcome to Commander Time. We are yet another podcast about the Magic the Gathering format known as Commander, or EDH. That's an E for Elder, D for Dragon, and H
or
for
demon.
Highlander, or Demon, or Eldrazi Highlander. I play that sometimes, but today we're going to talk about Elder Dragon Highlander, because we're both talking about the same dragon.
Who is Elder?
He's also Elder. I am Nate Burgess.
I'm Dean Goody.
And we're going to talk about Vaevictis Asmadi the Dire. And that's how you pronounce it.
Did you look it up?
I did look it up. So it's Latin, actually. Vaevictis, which means woe to the vanquished or losers weepers.
I like that.
Yeah, so if you lose, we are not going to feel sorry for you because you lose. You get to cry. That's what the phrase means. And it's, it's like a Roman soldier thing where, hey, you better win this battle or else, yeah.
Yeah, that's the loser's victory. They get to cry.
Mm-hmm. But first, I have been streaming some Commander games with MTG Lexicon. And they stream live EDH games for about 8 hours every Saturday on Twitch. And then it gets copied over to YouTube. And I'll probably put some links up there. The language can get ribbled, so it's for mature audiences only. And they have about 3 years of experience and practice streaming Commander games. They have a highly competent producer and hosts, and a big group of people who can come in and out and play Commander and still stay friends with each other. So if you like all those things and you want to support live Commander streaming, there's MTG Lexicon, and I've signed up as a patron of theirs myself.
Yeah, I caught, I think, your first show with them. It was pretty good. And
speaking of patrons, a patron shout-out to Paul West.
Yay, Paul.
Ah! Shout out. What's your top card? The top card of Guilds of Ravnica. What category are we going with?
I don't know, but I have my pick already.
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
Regardless of category. Yeah. Let's do top instant or sorcery.
Top instant or sorcery?
You want to know what my pick is?
Oh, golly. I'm gonna have to get the spreadsheet out.
You want to know what my pick is for top instant or sorcery? Because I just have a total disregard for the rules. Plague Crafter. Plague Crafter is my top.
That's not an instant or sorcery.
I know, I cheated.
It's neither one.
It doesn't matter. Whatever the category was, I was picking Plague Crafter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been grabbing those up whenever I can draft them.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty... Well, not seems like. I've experienced it. I have not had it sacrifice a Planeswalker yet, but I have had it force discards. So for those of you who don't know, when it comes into play, each player sacrifices a creature or a Planeswalker, and if they can't, they discard a card. It's just beautiful.
You like Burglar Rat?
Yeah, I love a cheaper Liliana Spectre. And I also love Vicious Rumors.
Yeah, Burglar Rat, when it enters the battlefield, it's a 1/1 rat, and it costs 1 and a black. Each opponent discards a card. It's got the words each opponent, and then something bad, so I like it.
Me too.
But what was the other one? Vicious Rumors? That's the...
Vicious Rumors.
It's a single black, and it does one of everything, right?
Sort of. It's like a very baby pox. So yeah, if we're actually going favorite instant or sorcery, like I originally said we were doing, Vicious Rumors is my pick then. A single block for sorcery deals 1 damage to each opponent. Each opponent discards a card and then puts the top card of their library into their graveyard, and you gain a life.
Oh, you gain a life?
And you gain a life.
That's not poxy.
It's asymmetrically poxy.
Right.
Yes.
That's pretty good. If it were an instant, I'd put it in an Isochron Scepter.
I imagine you would.
But it's not. So my pick for top instant or sorcery, I'm going to go with Thief of Sanity, which is a creature specter, 1 blue black, 2/2, and it's flying. And whenever Thief of Sanity deals combat damage to a player, Gonti 3.
Yep.
Which means you look at the top 3 cards of that player's library. Gonti himself is Gonti 4, but this is a Gonti 3. So you exile one of them face down, and the rest of them go into the graveyard. That's pretty cool. And you can look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you can spend any mana that you want to do it.
Does Gonti put those cards in the bottom of the deck, or does he put them in the graveyard?
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he does put them back in the library.
So this is Gonti-ish 3.
Yeah, this is a Millie Gonti. It mills instead of tucks.
Which is very Spectre-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was actually my pre-release promo card.
Ooh.
So I've got a nice foily date-stamped one of these.
Oh, I like it. I like this one.
Yeah. And the art is fantastic. Who did this? Igor Kirilek? Something like that? I like it. It's got a weird skull beast flying thing.
Well, yeah, there's a few specters where they have some ghostly thing riding on a dragonish thing, like an undead dragon kind of thing. So I think that skull is like the skull of the dragon thing on a long neck, and then striding the neck
actual
is the
specter.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. It's like the old debate about the Archon. Is the Archon the guy riding it or the thing that he's riding? It's the guy riding it. But I just happen to like this particular mount for the specter.
Yeah. It's got a scully face.
Yep. With no eyes, which is cool.
Hmm.
So what is your actual instant or sorcery pick? Since I did 2.
Then I have to actually look. Let's see.
Oh, is it
No.
Mnemonic Betrayal, Nate? The one that Yawgmoth wills for everybody else?
I don't run infinite mana combos that much, so if I did run infinite mana combos, I would probably pick Mnemonic Betrayal, because then you can cast all the graveyard cards.
Mm-hmm.
It's even better than a Rise of the Dark Realms. You have to do everything in the right order, though. Like, get the board wipes out of the way first, and then cast the creatures back in there.
Kind of like Villainous Wealth, if you have the infinite mana.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. So, if you have infinite mana, here's one way to win.
Well, everybody has to have a pretty fat graveyard at that point for you to actually win.
Yeah, but you're in the colors to make that happen.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you are. Should we just take a quick side tangent here on Guilds of Ravnica? Because there are a bunch of cards I could just mention and talk about a little bit.
Yeah, sure, hit it.
Have you tried Notion Rain?
Notion Rain.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I think it's probably better than, stuff like Read the Bones or Scribe. What's the other one?
Read the Bones, Night's Whisper, and Sign in Blood.
Right. Patrick Cipolla. Hey.
A wild Patrick appeared. Are you recording, Patrick? Quickly, Patrick. Record, we'll patch you in.
Do. Wop. Okay, I'm recording now.
Okay. Hey, Patrick woke up.
Yay, it's me. Yay.
Commander time, all together at last.
For the first time, for the every time.
Patrick.
Yep.
What is your top instant or sorcery of Guilds of Ravnica, and why is it Plaguecrafter?
Instant or sorcery Plaguecrafter?
Yes.
Yeah, it confused me too at first.
No. I mean, no. That's not my favorite.
No. Nate asked what before, when we're doing show notes, I put Plaguecrafter as my pick regardless of category, and then arbitrarily selected instant or sorcery as the category, and picked Plaguecrafter anyway, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Nate's top instant or sorcery is Thief of Sanity, so what's yours?
Let me look it up.
And after you give us your actual favorite non-instant or sorcery, you can let us know what your actual favorite instant or sorcery is.
So, I think it might actually be a really lame pick, but it performed really, really well for me at the pre-release. So I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Artful Takedown.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh. What is that one?
2 blue-black instant, choose one or both, tap target creature, or target creature gets -2/-4 until end of turn. Not particularly great for EDH because, it's a one-time effect for, pretty expensive for what it does, but in limited it's a house. Get you in, or saves you. Yeah.
That -2/-4, that'll take out a couple of things. There's a decent number of creatures that will die to that.
Yeah. But it's not as good as like Assassin's Trophy. Just
no.
But
maybe if it cost 1 less, it would be much more EDH playable.
No, I still probably wouldn't want 3.
I might say Crush Contraband.
Crush Contraband is very hot. I like that card.
It's a 3 and a white instant, so it's easier to cast than Return to Dust, and you can exile a target artifact and or target enchantment.
Yes, but not 2 enchantments and not 2 artifacts. So
I don't think that'll matter so much. Yeah, you were talking about Notion Rain earlier.
Yes.
And Read the Bones and Sign in Blood. I don't like those cards. I don't like any of those cards because it's a slight advantage for a single turn. And I like cards that either give a profound advantage for a single turn or I'll take a slight advantage over several turns. But I don't like a slight advantage for a single turn.
Sure, I mean, engines are usually preferable, but I don't know. If you build enough of them in, then they sort of become an engine and a deck thinning device, I guess. So I do run all 4 of those when I can.
You're kind of the opposite than Dana in this regard. He views those cards as like must-includes in decks. I honestly just feel that they're somewhere in between. They're not must-includes and they're not like never-includes.
Yeah, I don't know. I like them.
I mean, the reason why I feel that way is because it all depends on what the deck is trying to do. If you're trying to grind out a win over a long period of time, then no, these cards should not be in your deck. But if you're running an aggro deck that needs to refill your hand for a turn to push through the last couple points of damage, then yes, you should probably be running those cards.
Yeah.
And they're cheap. And specifically with Notion Rain, it can set up a pretty powerful graveyard play, getting that Surveil off.
Oh, did I tell you about Doom Whisperer and Crypt of Agadim?
No, but I need to pick one of those up for Grixis Clones. So go ahead, what happened?
That's a different episode. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about with the Verena episode.
Okay. Let me just throw out one more instant here for you guys to consider. Have you guys played or seen played Necrotic Wound? It's a single block for instant undergrowth. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Have you guys seen this?
I've seen it. I don't really like it, though.
No? Patrick?
What was it called? The Creeping Wound?
Necrotic Wound.
Necrotic Wound.
It's an undergrowth card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is... I could like undergrowth in a dredge deck.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, undergrowth, it's like you already have to be losing before it starts working.
So the thing that I like about Necrotic Wound specifically is that clause at the very end. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So you can give a creature -0/-0 until end of turn, leaving it with the exact same stats. And you can do that in response to...
And kill it some other way?
Yeah, in response to blockers or wrath or something like that,
right.
and then it's just gone forever instead of dying.
That's not bad. I could see that being okay in a number of decks, but, I mean, it's still corner case.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, you're in black, so I think there's probably some like incidental synergy that you'll get off of the undergrowth, and if not, worst case scenario, you're going to cast in response to a wrath to make somebody's thing go away forever. That's my take on it. It's sort of like a black,
path?
Slightly more situational path. Yeah.
I thought that was Fatal Push.
Fatal Push destroys, though. So that's why Necrotic Wound is my cool black card pick.
Well, when is red going to get a path to exile then, huh?
Probably around the time that green gets a path to exile.
Berserk.
That doesn't exile, though.
But it sacrifices?
Yes. Yes, it does. But it doesn't exile.
Oh, there's Anger of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Red does have some, but they're mostly X spells, where it forces the creature to get exiled if it takes a certain amount of damage or whatever.
That's cool.
There are a few like that. Are we going to continue with the Vaevictis episode, or are we going to switch to Patrick's deck, or are we going to...
Vaevictis will be just fine.
Okay.
Because my deck, I've spent about half the day on the toilet today, so...
Oh, Patrick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not recreationally?
Not not communicative. Cumulative.
Yeah.
Did I say it right that time?
Nope.
You said that right, though.
I'm really good at swearing, you guys.
Yeah. Single syllable words. You're all about those.
Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, I'm a person.
Me too.
I started that sentence without any real plan for it.
Human music.
What a surprise.
Yes, I am a fellow human, just like all the fellow humans, like you. Yes. The main topic.
So, Nate and I are going to talk about Vaevictis. Have you seen either of our deck lists, Patrick?
There they are.
I'll drop a cool... I think Nate already has it in the notes, actually. He's got a cool comparison link up there.
Yeah, so since both of our decks are in deck stats, there's a little drop down where we can compare our decks, and it'll show us what cards are in my deck and what cards are in his deck and what cards are in both our decks. Then we can talk about it.
Pretty cool, right?
I already have a couple questions for you guys.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I think so. I have a couple questions.
All right. Do you want to start out with those questions or kind of throw them at us like darts at a picture on a dartboard?
I think you should probably say what you want to say about your decks, and I'll put them out there.
Okey-dokey.
Yeah, because guys, that's some weirdo choices in there.
All right. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see what both of our decks are using in common. So we both have the Soul Ring and all the signets.
Ramp is important in this deck, and the signets are cheap.
All the signets in those colors.
Well, not only that, you want permanence.
That too.
Oh yeah, we both have all permanent decks. There's no non-permanents in the deck.
Yeah. So in lieu of Rampant Growth or Farseek, we're definitely going to be running those signets instead.
And Wood Elves.
And Wood Elves and Farhaven Elf. Yep, those are both in our decks.
Yeah, we got Wood Elves and Farhaven Elf. They both give us a land when they enter the battlefield. And they're a warm body that we can sacrifice to Vaevictis. Let's read Vaevictis.
Our Lord and Savior.
Did we not do that?
Where did he go? I don't think we read him yet. We just started talking about Ravnica cards.
Host people. I got it right here. Vaevictis Asmadi the Dire. 3 black, red, green, so 6 mana for a 6/6 legendary creature Elder Dragon. He's flying. Whenever Vaevictis Asmadi the Dire attacks, for each player, choose target permanent that player controls. Those players sacrifice those permanents. Each player who sacrificed a permanent this way reveals the top card of their library, then puts it onto the battlefield if it's a permanent card. So it's kind of like a mini Chaos Warp for each player whenever he attacks.
Right. But you only get a fresh thing if permanent shows up. So all those Spellslinger decks that have instant and sorceries, they don't get a thing after they sacrifice something.
And I really like getting things.
Yeah. I mean, they get to see what their next card is, but so does the rest of the table.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get to draw it. They just have it sitting there so we all know what's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, on the subject of mana, Vaevictis, it costs 6 converted mana costs, which is pretty high comparatively, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the mana ramp is important. We're in green, so we have the enter the battlefield land fetchers. I think I have a Felwar Stone, and I have the standard single green mana elves that will tap for a mana of some color.
Yeah, I eschewed those elves and went with maybe just a heavier ramp package.
Well, you have higher end mana dorks. I have more of them, but yours are higher end.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do have quite a few of them, but yes, they are a little bit higher end. I have stuff like Shaman of Forgotten Ways, which taps for double mana, and Selvala, Heart of the Wilds, who taps for mana equal to the highest power of creatures among creatures you can control. Stuff like that.
Right. And you were talking about Somberwald Sage as a possibility?
Yeah, I'm considering Somberwald Sage. It's a 1/1 for 3 mana, green, and you can tap it for 3 mana, but you can only use it to spend creatures, which is fine with me because I am running a very heavy concentration of creatures at 42. It's a lot.
Yeah, so my mana dorks are, I guess they're more standard. I got Llanowar Elves, Elvish Mystic, and Findhorn Elves. I also have Elves of Deep Shadow to go into black, and threw in Boreal Druid. I'm not really on the budget to be throwing Birds of Paradise around everywhere, but probably both our decks could use a Bird of Paradise.
Yeah, Birds of Paradise is great, and Elves of Deep Shadow probably belongs in my deck. I am running Deathrite Shaman as a 1-mana
Yeah,
dork.
I was just going to say, after the Bannington Legacy, like, pretty much the only format it's legal in now is Commander, so the price on that has to have dropped from, like, $5. So...
Yeah, it's pretty cheap now. I happen to have some lying around, but in my particular build, it's pretty heavy on land hate, so there's usually something to target for me to basically make it a Birds of Paradise.
Right. We both have most of the Gitania package. That's what I'm calling it from now on.
I like it.
And that's the Gitrog monster and Titania, Protector of Argoth. And also we'll throw in Omnath, Locus of Rage, Mending of Dominaria, World Shaper. Both of those will get all your lands back from your graveyard in various ways. And Oracle of Moldiah, which I used to have in an elf tribal deck, but it's good in that deck, but it's just so much better in this one.
Do you count Ramanop Excavator and Crucible in that package or no?
You could if you wanted. I prefer the World Shaper and the Mending of Dominaria because they're more explosive and the price of the physical card is much cheaper than both the Crucible and Ramanop Excavator.
Yeah, I do very much like World Shaper and Mending. Go ahead, Patrick, sorry.
You've already hit upon my first question for you guys. Omnath, Locus of Rage, really?
Yeah. He's so cheap when you just sacrifice a dinky land or a tiny dork and get a giant 5/5.
Yeah, he does make tokens, and because Vaevictis needs to sacrifice something, tokens are pretty good in this deck. I think I have more token generators than Dean does. Dean has a few different themes that we'll get into, but Omnath is pretty good because he makes tokens, and if you have explosive land ramp from the graveyard, like Mending of Dominaria or World Shaper, then that can be a win condition.
And he's extra removal if you need it, especially for, well, maybe not especially for Planeswalkers, but if you really need to remove 2 creatures or a creature into Planeswalker or something like that, when you sacrifice the Elemental, you can get rid of 2 things, one with Vaevictis and one with the 3 damage.
I don't know. I don't think I'm convinced on this, on Omnath in particular. But I mean, I could easily be wrong on it. He just seems out of theme for Vaevictis in general. But I mean, you do need finishers, but like he could be the finisher the deck needs.
Oh yeah, he's not the main finisher.
Yeah,
Okay.
not for me
By
either.
any means.
But like Nate said, I have a few different themes, and we'll probably get into my pretty heavy land theme.
Quite so. For more tokens, we both have Ophiomancer that makes a 1/1 Death Touch snake token
That's really
that
good.
does not exist in paper, but hey, maybe they'll print one day.
Yep.
One day.
And there was another one, Awakening Zone. I have Awakening Zone. I also have From Beyond.
Yeah, I didn't run that one.
Yeah. Well, I do have Eldrazi in my deck, so I have an extra reason to play From Beyond.
That's fair. There's one other token producer that I have in the mail that I'm thinking about putting into this deck, and that card is Kalidas Trader of Get, which I'm actually surprised didn't make your deck, Nate. You love Grave Hate.
It was in one of my earlier builds, but I switched it back to a different deck.
Fair enough.
I think I might have moved it back to Mirrorbear.
Oh, sure. He's cheap now. I got him for $250.
Yep.
Yeah. But so that hates the graveyard, hates your opponent's creatures leaving, and gives you extra tokens to sack to Vaevictis. So he's pretty good all around.
Turns your Vaevictis triggers against everybody else, but into your own tokens as well.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
It's win.
All the winning.
Another major theme that we both went pretty deep on is enter the battlefield removal. So a permanent of ours enters the battlefield, and because it did that, we get to get rid of something else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Torpor Orb hoses both of our decks.
Maybe.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Vaevictis can remove Torpor Orb with ease, but apart from that, I don't think I have anything that could get rid of an artifact or a creature without an ETB.
Yeah, Vaevictis would do it.
Yeah, Vaevictis would do it handily. There are 3 though. Now there's it's not just Torpor Orb anymore. There's Torpor Orb, Hushwing Gryph, and now also Tocatli Honor Guard, and they all prevent creatures entering the battlefield from triggering abilities.
Yeah, they don't stop Vaevictis himself, but they're going to affect a lot of our choices for the rest of the deck.
Yeah. I'm actually running Panharmonicon in my deck just to exploit all the ETBs. Are you running that, Nate?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No. I'm not as ETB focused as you are.
Yeah. No, I don't see it in your list. Yeah, I went pretty deep on that.
So we both have Acidic Slime, which gives a variety of removal options. Reclamation Sage is standard. Patron of the Vein. I like that one.
Yeah.
And Terastodon is pretty good.
I'm also running Noxious Gearhulk.
Okay, yeah.
And
that's a good choice.
Fleshbag Marauder and Plaguecrafter.
Plaguecrafter. I thought about Plaguecrafter.
Yeah.
It might go in here sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even thinking about trying to figure out a way to put in Merciless Executioner just because I really like the effect, but I think it would be superfluous at this point. I have a pretty heavy removal theme.
Yeah. So let's see. I think that probably covers what we have in common.
Do you actually want to talk about Patron of the Vein? I've mentioned this on Twitter, I think, as an underplayed card, in my opinion. I don't think that this card sees enough respect as compared to Noxious Gearhulk.
Yeah, are they both 4 black?
They're both 4 black. They both have a form of evasion. Actually, you do Patron, and I'll pull up Noxious Gearhulk, and we'll compare them.
Patron of the Vein is a creature vampire shaman. Who knew they had shamans? But it's flying, it's 4/4, and when it enters the battlefield, you destroy target creature an opponent controls, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies it doesn't have to be this guy that destroyed it, exile that creature and put a +1/1 counter on each vampire you control. And because it does the Kalidas thing where it exiles the creature that dies, the Anafenza the Foremost, I like her too. I like that effect. But, even if this is the only vampire you have, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's getting all those counters anyway. And then Noxious Gearhulk is 4 black for a 5/4 artifact creature construct. It has Menace, and when it enters the battlefield, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. This card was printed in Standard, so there's probably a lot more copies of it. Patron of the Vein was only in Commander 2017?
Edgar Markov.
Yeah, Edgar Markov, that deck. So they're both evasive. The Patron has Flying, the Noxious Gearhulk has Menace. Patrick, which form of evasion is better, would you say, in EDH?
Find out Patrick's choice on the next Commander Time. It's Commander Time. Visit us at patreon.com/commandertime.
You can find me on Twitter at Grubfellow.
At Detective Yarmits.
At Mr. Plorg.